Welcome to your favourite weekly beer podcast, sponsored by Beer 52. Real beer, real breweries, real opinions. Remember to head to beer52.com/beer fridge to claim your free box of craft beer. Like, follow, and share our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter pages. Just search Beer Fridge Podcasts. Again, welcome to the podcast. My name is Gavin Baxter, and I'm joined by my usual stable of co-hosts, Calum, Scotty Bellin, and Mark Dixon. Hello, gentlemen.
Nee.
The stable of co-hosts are ready.
Ready and waiting for a review of Tap Into Bristol. So last weekend, or the weekend before, we had made we all made the trip. Oh, ting ting, down to Bristol for Tap Into Bristol at Tapestry, for a lovely day of fun and games and lots of beer consumed. And we're just going to give a wee review of the day and Bristol in general. And the one thing for myself, to start off with, that was, I knew Bristol had a craft beer scene, but until we got down there and experienced it for myself, every bar you go in has just got a massively like in-depth selection of craft beer, and it was just like I would happily move to Bristol just for the bars.
It was. I was really impressed as well. Maybe we were quite picky with some of the pubs we went in, perhaps. However,
I think the pubs are more picky of us.
Well, maybe
there was that.
But
we forgave them afterwards because we were then in it and in the cavern.
Yes.
At the beer emporium and
with a hyena.
saw first hand, with the witch's coven in one corner. But the place was, back up what you guys are saying. I've been there a few times and I'd never been in any of the places that we'd went and visited, which is not a surprise considering I've been doing there for work, but it's within spitting distance and there's no reason why you can't go there and enjoy good beer. It's round every corner pretty much. They're well spaced out. A few notables which we'll come to, but the place is tremendous. It's a real real destination in terms of craft beer. I thought I'd found it in New York, but it's a proper hub outside of your big cities, which we've mentioned already. In previous podcasts are London and your usual Edinburgh, Glasgow. But Bristol was something that I didn't really consider as being, despite the number of breweries for there, you thought they'll be flooding London with everything, but the amount of tap rooms and things that were there was tremendous. Really good.
Impressive.
Very.
But the range, I mean, that when we went into that place with the hyena, what was it called? The
Craft Beer Emporium, or the Beer Emporium, sorry.
Yeah, but the range of stuff that they had. I mean, they had St Andrews and Stewart and Scottish breweries and stuff, which I thought was unbelievable.
They had beers that we'd never like. Well, I know you three are up there, but we've never seen in Scotland. There was like collaboration. There was a St Andrews one, I believe it was. I think you'd seen it. Collaboration. I can't remember who it was.
It was another Yippee IPA.
Yeah, I think so. And it was a collaboration we've never seen.
I've seen that one.
Well, fuck you.
No. You got to St Andrews more often, son.
Yeah, no point.
No, there isn't. I don't think there is, because I wouldn't go near St Andrews if I was you, but hey ho. Only for Luvians, but not to drink St Andrews Brewing Company beer.
Well, fair.
Especially not for a growler, because it's impossible apparently. So.
It was good to see like breweries that we know from up in Scotland been down there. St Andrews, Stewart as well. Stewart stuff was there, which is incredible, and even especially the beer emporium. Their fridge was absolutely rammed of different interesting stuff, which we all tried, and some of it was a bit naff, and some of it was fantastic. I think the one standout for me, and I know for some of the other halves, was the Left-Handed Giant. Their brewery, their tap room looked phenomenal. The Go Ahead Sour was one that I enjoyed thoroughly, and I know again your other halves had enjoyed it as well, just because of how sweet and sour it was, and just a delicious beer. And that place was absolutely incredible.
It was a bit of a lifesaver for us, though, considering the storm came in.
The weather, aye.
Pouring it down with wind, with rain, and all the rest of it, and we were able to kind of hide away with pool tables and dartboards and awesome beer. So it was sort of kind of a perfect haven as such to kind of get stuck in and try. But like you say, their tap room was awesome, but their beer in general was really top notch. So,
but we digress, gentlemen, from the topic at hand.
We certainly do, and I'm just literally going to get back to it, and I need to say thanks to Calum and Dan from Tapestry for hosting Tap Into Bristol. They couldn't have been more accommodating to us whatsoever. Gave us a space to record a live podcast, which you'll hear shortly, and
brewery tour.
Gave us a wee brewery tour as well, which was really fascinating to see what they'd done. I mean, they basically, to start off, kind of made it a makeshift brewery, and then when finances dictated, got the proper equipment, but they've all done it by hand. And they had brought down beer from Scottish breweries, so they brought down some Fierce Cafe Racer, Stewart Brewing Lager, and Pilot's EPK, all award-winning beers, fantastic beers. So it was really good for us as Scottish brewery enthusiasts to deliver that and talk to English Bristolians, or whatever, how I want to be called,
locals
about Scottish beer, and can't thank Dan and Calum enough, and we can't wait to, fingers crossed, do the same again next year.
Exactly. I think for me, the whole day itself, they gave us obviously like a really good spot, allowed us to, record, which hopefully, if you're listening this far in, so far at the kind of the promo bit here, that you're going to go on and listen. It was a cracking content, but the atmosphere, we had people involved, loads of games, loads of obviously the rugby was on, which we won't talk about that. But all in all, it was such a good day that, like you say, I hope it's something that we can do next year with them and move on to other breweries and things like that as well, if interested, because it was cracking fun.
It was a really good day. I know I certainly drank my weight in beer, and I felt the effects at around 10 o'clock.
After you were doing a bit of backstroke.
Casually.
Hey.
I had to do some tactical chundering.
Well,
however, sorted myself out and got in the bandwagon again.
And you got pushed twice, did you know?
I got pushed twice. In between, I had a wee snack of chips, which sorted me right out, and I was back on the horse.
Yeah.
Excellent work. Good comeback. That's a comeback.
I had an hour of water and chips, and then I was fine.
Straight back on, and Bristol held well. I held well-ish. I must admit that, as you said, the Left-Handed Giant place was a godsend, and it was the beer that was on offer there was tremendous as well. That would be my other than Tapestry. The other highlight would be Left-Handed Giant for sure. The pool, the darts, drafts, all the other board games and stuff up on that third floor was tremendous. It was perfect. And being the only ones there was even better. We kind of had the run of the place, which was really good.
I think we were there when the doors opened, pretty much, weren't we?
Aye, we were champing at the bit. When's the pool on? When's the darts open?
You know, they actually had to kick out, or we had to wait on the beer yoga finishing up first, didn't we? They were doing a yoga afternoon.
You'll be surprised to know that none of us partook in the yoga brunch that was available. We decided to go to quite a fancy. It wasn't. You couldn't even say it was a greasy spoon. It was quite a fancy breakfasting establishment that we ended up in.
Oh,
that was the if there was to be a con in Bristol, is that everybody seems to go out for their breakfast. About the 6th place we tried, managed to get in somewhere, which ended up being quite a fancy establishment, where we partook in our only spirit of the weekend, which was a Bloody Mary, and it was tremendous, really good. Then straight back right into Left-Handed Giant. So after our own version of the stretch that was spending an hour and a half in the breakfast establishment, we went right into the main course at Left-Handed Giant, and it was perfect. A propensity, one other thing I would say, propensity for pizzas with beer in Bristol, I must admit. Every place you went into had a pizza oven, despite us thinking that it was Tapestry's unique selling point, which it definitely is for out there. But then every other brewery we went to also did wood-fired pizzas. So
right here, those pizzas at Tapestry were the balls.
They kept us going. Longevity.
They were absolutely superb.
Helped you stay in the game for death.
Well,
they helped a wee bit.
Some of us.
They did a job for a couple of hours, and it was nice. It was good that there was obviously a crowd there for the rugby games and stuff, and I'm glad that they got involved in our fun and games, etc. With our beer flipping contests, mat flipping not just beer flipping, that'd be stupid. Beer mat flipping contests.
We need to find out for next year. I think expand the games library to include finding out one of the best or premier butchers in Bristol, so that we can do the steak pie dominoes. steak pie and Doms, which will definitely, that's a must for next time. We Dominoes Championship there at Tapestry would have been excellent. Names down for Doms, steak pie.
You know what?
Pizza voucher, steak pie, and a pizza voucher for second place. Steak pie for first.
A wee pie's a voucher, and I hope the individuals who did win the games, who I cannot remember a single name of who won the games, but most of them received a Beer Fridge podcast T-shirt. We had free beer, so thanks to Ali from Fierce who sent us some goodies down to promote Fierce beer while we were down there, and Beer 52 vouchers to give away as well.
We did give away some, Ali. We didn't drink it all ourselves.
We didn't. We were kind.
We promoted.
And gave them away.
Because he's not sitting here, he's disappeared to get himself a drink. We've managed to. What we've done there is Calum's eagerness. We managed to kind of delay Calum's eagerness to open every single Fierce beer that was available on the table almost immediately as soon as we had received it and opened the box, and managed to give away a couple of cans before he got his hands on them. And I'm not totally guiltless in that, because I've managed to snafu a fancy juice. Road to me, Ali. So there you go.
So the thing is, so they two half inch some cans. I didn't walk away with any cans.
What? No, come on.
No. You could have had the barley wine. We told you that.
Let's have it right. Let's have it right. I was big enough.
Didn't he give you? I took one for the team and opened it so that the other guys could try some.
No,
because we're not buying that.
Percent why I did it. Right?
We're not buying it.
Well, you could just choose not to buy it if you didn't want to.
He proceeded to offer one. Honestly, to say it with a sip would have been kind.
No, and then the glass was passed round the table. It's your fault if you didn't have any.
One rotation, and then it was rattled quickly.
Good. Okay.
Calum, Kindred. What was it? The Kindred Conundrum. That was the one. Did that left, Calum? No, it's gone.
This is a Thai coconut.
Oh, tough.
It's gone. But no, again, like I said, thank you to Ali from Fierce for sorting this out for that. Much appreciate that. And fingers crossed, we'll be doing another one of these events at Fierce in Edinburgh in the near future. Fingers crossed for that. But overall, the weekend, not the weekend.
Success.
Was it a success? And the Saturday, the Tapestry Bristol with the Tapestry got the boys, Calum and Dan. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I can't thank those guys enough for letting us use their space.
Quick shout outs as well, or honourable mentions to food establishments. So the Coconut Tree and Lion Lager on the first night, and then on the is it Creams?
Creams.
The dessert restaurant, which award for biggest menu in the world.
Right.
Honestly, it was like, if you've ever this is right up Calum Street, but if you ever opened the Marauders map, this had more sections in it than the Marauders map. It was, you were folding things all over the place. It was like reverse origami.
It was like reading the Financial Times
to get this menu on, and calories everywhere, but excellent. And then bar and block as well, which was excellent.
Yeah, that was
the steak place on the last night, which was the perfect end. And we even, some of us moved on to the grape rather than the grain on that evening, which was excellent, and it was lovely.
The other bar that we went to on the Saturday, which you may be surprised, I can remember, the small bar, which was excellent. Which was tremendous.
That was where we had our first taste of the
Go Ahead
left-handed giant, the Go Ahead stuff, which was excellent. Although in an absolute travesty, you managed to ditch 2/3 of it just after I had bought it.
On the bookshelf.
We got some cracking pictures there. A gentleman, one of the patrons, sleeping at one of the tables. It wasn't Gavin, but we got some great selfies.
He had gone ahead.
I'd placed it on a bookshelf and it fell off.
The bookshelf moved.
Which
was wrong. Yeah. Totally wrong. There you go.
Just horrendous long. So, what you'll hear after this little bit that we've been mentioning is our live podcast that we did at Tapestry Bristol, and hopefully some little snippets of games, etc., and other bits that we'd done on the day. Again, can't thank Calum and Dan enough. You can head over to their website, look them up on Instagram and Twitter. Just search Tapestry Brewing.
Tapestrybrewery.com. There you go.
And you can find out all the information with them.
Good. Get on their beers. Top line. I know we'll probably mention we kind of got stuck in and done some reviews on the day, which was good chat.
Top line's a business.
Top line was very good. And their session.
New England.
The night ride. I had a couple of night rides just to sort me out, because I was starting to flag a wee bit, so I needed a wee caffeine intake, and night ride. Whoop, there we go, back in the game.
No, sorry, but it was still pish. But it was just. I'm sorry. It just wasn't up my. And I said that to the boys, and you'll hear that hopefully as part of the podcast. I was quite honest, even though it tasted better. Second time round, it still wasn't.
It was better on draft.
By the way, the big one though, in terms of stuff we didn't talk about, we got a wee taste of what they've now decided to call the solo venture, which is the single hop pale ale, and it was really interesting to see what they're doing with cask stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully bringing kind of quality to cask, which is kind of lacking as far as I can see. It's rare that you would go on and ask for that, and we tasted it just before it had finished. It was still midway through the ferment, and it tasted lovely. It tasted really promising anyway in terms of what it can offer. So I'd be looking forward to trying that one, and if you can get your hands on it wherever they're doing tap takeovers or wherever, look out for it and go and get it.
Therefore, I know they're going to be at the Brew London Beer Festival at the end of February, so they'll be pouring there if you're going to that festival. And if not, head down to Bristol and grab yourself some of their gear. We've explained in the past and on the podcast before, and the one you're about to hear, that Tapestry are a kind of introduction to craft beer, and they do a tremendously good job of doing that. And with that all mentioned, let's head down to Tapestry for Tap Into Bristol. Welcome everybody. Welcome to Tap Into Bristol, presented by Tapestry and ourselves, the Beer Fridge Podcast. We are recording live on Tapestry in Bristol. Hello everybody!
Hello!
Hey, my name's Calum Baxter, Mark Dixon, Scott McMillan, Calum Muir, and Calum and Dan from Tapestry are here. We're here for Tap Into Bristol. The 8th of February is finally here, gentlemen. Fun day, full of surprises and games and whatnot. I'm just slipping, to be honest. To be fair. But yes, the Beer Fridge Podcast is your favourite weekly podcast with real beer, real brewing, and real breweries and real opinions. You can't get in catches right. And the Beer Fridge Podcast is sponsored as always by Beer 52, beer52.com/Beer Fridge. Grab yourself a free case and head over there. Right. Beer. Shall we get? But first of all, I need to say thank you to Dan, obviously, and Calum for having us. Cheers, boys.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you for coming down.
And I will start as always. What we're drinking. Go, Scott.
Oh, what are you drinking? You go first, Mark.
Okay, thank you. I'm on the.
Grab the microphone, you dog.
Okay.
Just have it beside you.
Hello. I'm drinking the Swing Ball Session IPA. I believe it was brewed pretty recently. And yeah, so being a session brew, I'm a big IPA fan, you know that, and it's super smooth. I can see myself pretty much drinking this all afternoon, which is the definition of session. And yeah, really flavourful. It's got a wee bit of citrus. I'm getting coming through it. Hopefully you boys.
See, this is where I do my homework. I've got fucking everything.
You got the tasting notes?
I'll tell you exactly. Mosaic Citra and a splash of Eldorado hops.
Well, there you go. Well, to be honest with you, that's just my sophisticated palate picking it up. Aye. Anyway, passing the mic. Right, Gilroy.
Right, okay. So I am. What am I drinking now? I've been through them all. That's the problem already in the space of about 45 minutes. So I'm on Tropic Glow, which is a Session New England IPA. Lovely, fruity. It's got a kind of citrus. It's got a good kind of hoppy edge to it. I quite like the sharper edge on it. I quite like that kind of punch of flavour, which is good for being a session. It's easy to drink. I can see me having a few more. And it's excellent. Yeah, brand new, hot off the press. So, what should I be looking for?
Amarillo and Simcoe.
There we go.
They're the two babies which are in 4.3. So yeah, it's a lighter crisp malt bill, hence the 4.3, and then the Amarillo and Simcoe come through the drop.
Superb. It's excellent. Really, really light and crisp.
By the way, the people at the back, you don't have to whisper. You just can carry on and have a normal conversation.
And on that quickly, it's sold out in Care. I think it's sold out in
Good effort.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Hello all, yes, and you join me in my element. I'm drinking my favourite stout that I've had in the last couple of years. It's Night Ride. You listen to the podcast, you'll know that I had a few bottles of that sent up from the Beer Me Now guys. This is the first time I've had it on tap and it is absolutely outstanding. Even better than out of the bottle. The coffee and chocolate are coming through like a train. And it's really light and no, it's absolutely superb, and I think I might drink this all day. So, yep, carry on. Next.
Hello. You won't break it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm on the latest haze, which is our New England IPA, 5.2%. And this is all about Citra and Mosaic in this one. Double dry hop to get the flavours coming through.
Excellent.
Yep.
We'll sign it later.
Thank you.
I'm on a 5.5 swivel. It's the same as the big fan. So light crisp, splash of Eldorado. Splash.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. It's give a real tropical punch to this sessionable brew.
Yeah, really light, and the key is about session. So
I didn't steal it off of it.
Andy's started on pints, unlike everybody else at the table, so we'll see how he is in a wee while.
True brewer.
You've got to have a pint to get the full flavour. We're just kind of up to the surface here.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Just got to remind us all the time because it's 4 or 5 years ago for you guys.
Initially from the chat, yeah, probably long. From a chat, we've been brewing for 3 years, just hit 3 years. So yeah, so and this has only been here for just over a year as our brewery home as well. So
that's you give us a wee tour. That's a cracking wee setup. Very nice you guys to get a wee tour. What else can I have written? Well, yes, the other bit was obviously all your beers are unfiltered, unrefined, etc. Vegan free.
Very vegan friendly.
yeah.
So was there a particular reason why you decided to do the unrefined, unfiltered type, of beers, or was it just is it easy to do it that way, or
No, so isinglass.
harder to do it that way?
Isinglass. So it's that product me and Calum never liked.
Right.
We did use it in our first ever pale, which originally was a 4.5. Our first ever brew we did, and we did that because we just wanted. Well, that was the traditional way of
Isinglass. So
Isinglass.
For those that might not know it, can you explain?
So isinglass is a product made from a gallbladder from a sturgeon.
Right.
Nice.
Okay.
Hence why if you do use it,
It's not vegan friendly. Okay.
And it comes in tubs of 20 to 25 litres on norm, and it's quite gloopy, like glue, smells of fish. You pour it into your casks. But for certain breweries who've used it traditionally, it works for them. But for us, it just.
And what does it do?
So it
Clears the beer up?
clarities. Yeah,
Right,
it's all
yeah.
on clarity. So what you normally do is positive and negative charge. So you can add auxiliary into your FVs, and then when you rack it into cask, you then dose it with isinglass, and then that positive and negative
Clears it
charge
right up.
drops it down, and like traditionally, you let a cask settle it
Settle
up
down,
to the
yep.
bottom, and that's why you get real clear bit.
Right.
But for us, it just wasn't for me and Calum.
It just felt wrong pouring something like that into a product that you want to enjoy and drink, and yeah, it does go against a lot of beer brewing tradition in a lot of sense. But also, it is. We found actually it's traditional to not have it because that is naturally how beer should be made, and we dry hop our beers quite a lot, so we are going to get a natural haze anyway. So we're kind of negating the fact of using a product like isinglass just didn't seem right to us, and also the way that consumers are buying beer these days.
It's inclusive rather than exclusive.
Exactly that. I think it's about giving choice to everyone, not ruling out people who do choose to be vegan or vegetarian. Let's be inclusive. We, as a brewery, we try and do that in terms of the atmosphere we create in the tap room and our beers we put out there. We want our beer to reach anyone who wants to give it a go.
Exactly.
And it just goes like it's just like you go into the supermarket now and there's these wonky vegetables and you see all these things. These people up in arms that there's tons and tons of vegetables getting thrown away because they don't look right. They don't look how we quote unquote expect things to look, and just because beer is hazy and not completely crystal clear, people might think, well, that doesn't look right. But this is the natural way to do it. So
exactly, and a lot of it is there are times where we get challenges from landlords or consumers who don't know exactly what it is, and that's just down to beer education, consumer education. I think the craft beer industry, we'll call it that, battling with that at the moment to try and get that across to consumers. And if we can, keep chatting about it, it is becoming clear. I think that's visible in terms of like trends at the moment. I look at New England IPAs as a, if it is a fad or whatever it is, the big man loves it.
Even though it's simple.
That's showing that people are learning that hazy beer is fine.
It's how it's meant to be.
Just how it's made. It's supposed to look like that. And
yeah, exactly that. And even just by looking at the swingle now, there's clarity.
You can achieve the clarity that you're looking for that should settle the landlords that feel the need to have something in there that does it.
And it comes down to patience. So it's down to temperature in your FEs. So the colder it is, the longer it sits in there for the recipe, then you're going to create a natural clarity anyway. So there's no rush to it. It's all about the quality of product, and you just have to wait that extra day.
I kind of think back to having that ingredient in there. They were using everything, like talk about using whale oil and things like that. It's when everything else is kind of dropped off, but that sitting there for a sturgeon. I mean, if you took somebody in, or if you sat that next to their really clear pint and said, "That's what's in that to make that look like that," they would poke. They would dry heave immediately.
They would.
Because you'd be like, no way.
And why add something which smells like that.
Imagine adding it.
You've gone through all that time.
Who thought about that when it happened? You know, who thought that then? You know.
So there's other natural ways around doing it. So we use crushed up pellets of seaweed basically into our kettle, which helps with the clarity of it. Some people traditionally used to use Irish moss.
Yeah.
And some people still do.
Yeah.
There is some really good natural alternatives. It's just about being patient and timing and working out what's right for your recipes.
And a lot of silicon-based stuff out there now as well.
Yeah.
And actually found our cider supplier we have in the tap room came down yesterday. He uses a potato-based fining from a French company that's typically used in wine. He's using it in cider. We actually haven't heard of it before, so we're going to look into that and see if that's an option for beer. So it's...
Well, apart from obviously the Tapestry beers, lucky enough here at Tapestry Bristol, we've got 3 best beers from Scottish Brewing. We need to have a massive thank you to Ali and Pierce. So we've got the Pierce Cafe Racer on tap. You're probably the best in display the Cafe Racer.
So
Had a fun.
yeah, it's excellent. For me, it's a lot. So it's probably not something you want to have as your first beer of the day. But it's the vanilla hits you 6.5%. It's going to punch you in the nose with vanilla and coffee. It's kind of like that vanilla espresso almost. It's excellent, really smooth. They've done an excellent job with it. The Imperial's even better, although you're definitely in a taxi home early doors after you have the Imperial. This is it's not sessionable. It's 6.5, but you could have a few. It tastes sessionable. It's deceptively alcoholic.
The other one we've got is the Pilot IPK. I personally not had it.
Calum's had it. So what did you think?
So I thought it was lovely. So it's an India Pale Kolsch, 5.1%. Really fresh, quite a piney sort of flavour coming in at the end, and really refreshing. Went down really easy. It was super. Really nice.
What I've got here notes-wise, all of the research, something about to do it. So it's pure fermented, cold yeast, for a crisp, dry finish, and dry hops with Citra, Galaxy, and Mosaic.
So it's not overly hoppy. I mean, you know that. I mean, I'm getting better now, but certainly if beers are like super hoppy, it's not something that I'm a fan too much of. But this, for all the hops that's in it, it's not too hoppy for me. So
And then
really
we've got to finish off the crisp refined light refreshing beer from Stuart Lager. 4% again. I've personally never tried it myself, and we'll be giving it a go.
You're a lager man,
I'm
so
the lager
we'll
man.
leave it up to you to taste test. So we'll come back in and taste test that. But it should be pretty light, and we're expecting something pretty refreshing from
thank everybody for
Aye.
sending stuff. I know you guys obviously procured that, but we appreciate
Them sending.
sending.
And we've all got, or pretty much everybody on the podcast now has got a craft beer kitchen event coming up. So that'll be good to get a good twist. And we've tried a good range for sure, and everything they've had so far is excellent. So I'm looking forward to the lager as well.
Yeah, it's actually the first time we've actually had a lager pouring on the tap room. We've not, because we don't brew one. This is the first time we've had guest beers as well, so this is what we want to try and do a bit more of, if possible, and go as well.
Have you had it?
Yeah, I've actually had a sip of all of them. Yeah.
So what was the lager like then?
Not very good. Yeah, really good. I think we obviously like quite varying. Well, Cafe Racer is full body, big flavour. The lagers, 4%, really easy going, clean and crisp, like really easy going. And the IPK, lovely flavour coming through. Obviously, I'm not sure if they must dry hop it a little bit to get a bit more of that.
It's excellent. Everything in their core range I recently tried. The last week we had the reverse Radical Road. Radical Road's kind of their mainstay craft beer. It's like a 6.2% kind of pale ale. The reverse is 4.3 just. So it's excellent. It's just really crisp and one you could drink.
So
I
many
mean, I had
beers
2
this
litres
morning.
for the Super Bowl and it was gone in about an hour and a half, which
I
is
had
good.
what was the one I had? The Negroni sour.
Negroni sour.
Do you try and get these other beers? Do you like obviously pick up the hops they use and think, oh, that's something we can implement in our beers?
100%. Every time you try a beer and you like it, you want to know how they do it, and then you kind of want to do your own spin on it. So, like we say with Tapestry, it's all about storytelling. So it's the same thing with that. So, for example, the Cafe Racer, their main base malt we've never used before. So it's called Planet. And so as soon as I taste that, it was really nice. I had a look into how the Planet works. How the Planet works, but how the actual malt works and how that adds a different dimension to using something more than like traditionally like Marisotto or something to get a bit more biscuity across your base malt for the darker beers. So just
You're always picking up elements.
100%.
Yeah, I think we try to like tailor it to what works for us and how and also like the ethos of our beers that we try and put out there. We can. There's so many good products out there. And
we've had Doe from Fierce on the podcast, and she's a superstar. Like,
She'll talk forever now.
So we should totally hook you guys up, get a collaboration on the go.
Chemistry, that's
is incredible.
I've never felt so dumb.
We went to
I totally know what the ferment. She was talking about the percentage.
she was all about IBUs and everything, like right into the nitty gritty and stuff. And we said, we've just been to the craft beer kitchen at Stuart and thought we'd been through caramel and various other different bits and pieces and malt extract and how much you had to pour in and all this kind of stuff. And we thought we were all right. We had the recipe sheets in front of us, and it was like, tear that recipe sheet up and throw it away with you, because what you've made isn't up to my standards. She just blows it the water.
Definitely like one of the penguins from Madagascar with the smell away.
He's like, do you know this? And we're like,
the whole time on the
totally
podcast,
understand where you're coming
she's
from.
working her way through this bottle. Our boss had just been in New Zealand and brought her this bottle, which she thought was beer, and she's smelling, this is a bit of Riesling sort of coming through and stuff, and it wasn't until she finished the entire bottle and realised that it was actually white wine.
That kind of redeemed us a wee bit. She's drinking it out of a pint glass.
It's amazing.
Tremendous. She's unreal.
Our stuff.
Yeah.
She's right into so they're kind of offshoot, if you like, is the Fierce by Nature stuff. So they're right into it's all kind of natural yeasted sours and things like that. They've just come out with that kind of dark fruits one, which is the latest, which we'll get when we travel back up the road. That's what I'm looking forward to next weekend. So that'll be.
Well, I think we can pick it up as well to sort out some cans and obviously.
We've got a good selection.
I'm just going to crack one now.
A really good selection of the Fierce Spain.
I'm putting that one back.
Well, obviously, apart from the beer, we're going to be happy at the Into Bristol. We've got the next thing on it's like the rugby.
Yes, come on, Scotland.
Scotland, England.
Predictions.
Yes, and we've decided to watch it.
Whoa.
Come on, I've been bigging it up. I'm going to give everybody a taste and I can talk about it.
Is it toy?
I'm just opening a can of Kindred Conundra Fierce. It's the 6.5% Thai coconut porter. So I had this on the podcast a few weeks ago and it was epic. So I'm going to give the guys a try after bigging it up. So.
You get that one. What are we thinking of the rugby today, score-wise?
Scotland win.
It's both teams.
Remember where you are, boys.
Both teams to score.
Remember where you are.
Both teams to score.
Remember who's hosting you.
Both teams need an improvement from last week.
That's
And from a Scottish point of view, I'm a bit concerned that the backlash from England's poor performance against France is going to come at the expense of Scotland today.
I'm confident we're going to get that good.
If we can get
Let's just look back at the last two Six Nations performances. Last year in England, we were 31-0 down at half time.
Yeah.
Came back to lead 38-31, and unfortunately England scored a try at the death to tie it up for the draw.
Their bottle didn't crash late doors, did it?
Aye.
That's no typical.
But the previous
Scotland at all,
year, so the last fixture at Murrayfield, we won. So let's just look at the positives.
He's reminiscing.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous. I'm nervous for us.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
I think he's really good at the last year.
Exactly.
That's the issue.
Yeah, no, that's a good
that road.
You've got more talent, and I reckon when they come back, a lot stronger.
Of course.
Yeah, we got more, I think, in depth.
Yeah.
Don't scare
The
it.
issue is how they all play together. And also, you know, yeah, it was a poor performance by England last week, but France came out absolutely flying. Their defence was incredible, and their support. Yeah, okay, they didn't let us. Like, that was the issue. So it's down to you guys whether you let us swing that ball around or not.
That's true. What's around that?
You have to wait for it to come in at the end. You get that spiciness.
So I'll put it out there. I'm not a huge fan of spicy.
Okay.
There's loads of sweetness there too, though.
It's warming. That's what's really nice about it.
It's just a subtle kind of.
And how you do get the coconut. It's
Yeah,
really,
live
to be honest, it's really balanced. Really balanced.
Yeah. We had a couple of their beers.
Aye. And the night rides are
Night a winner for me.
That's good.
It's the only one I
Yeah, that on the podcast.
It's the only one I actually like, and I'm happy with it.
That's the bollocks.
We had at London Craft Beer Festival. We had a couple of beers, and we tried the. I think it was 12% Imperial Maple Bourbon.
Maple very big mousse.
I really enjoyed it for at 12%. It was great.
Yeah, solidly.
Some
I
heft.
don't like stuff. We went in a few stars, and that's why I like people we could get it. But you got a lot of the bourbon to it. Like it tastes more bourbon than it did actually adult like stuff normally. So I quite enjoyed it, but that's for that reason.
They've got a full kind of series of that stuff. So they've done bourbon very big mousse, maple very big mousse, and just standard, which is all chocolate, very big. The mousse stuff is all the kind of, it's just chocolate, full chocolate flavour in your. There's not much coffee or anything in there, unlike the Cafe Racer, which has got the espresso in it. My favourite Fierce beer, which I've mentioned a few times, I'm in the hope that if I keep repeating it, they'll bring it back. It's got real peanuts in it, so it affects obviously the way when they're brewing it. They would have to then mark everything with the may contain nut stuff. So they're hoping in their new place when they move to it, they'll be able to segregate a section to bring it back. But it's called Peanut Riot, and it's incredible. It's like peanut butter, smooth, crunchy peanut butter and stout mixed together. It's incredible. It's my favourite.
That's cool.
What was the one that we found?
The Hamilton Crunch is about the closest to it.
So how do they do it? Do they grind the peanuts up then to make like almost like a base butter? Like a peanut butter?
It was really early on when we got in, and me and tell the story a few times. Me and my dad were in, and they were like, well, "We're not going to brew it anymore because of this." The limitation where it's having to say everything may contain nuts, and we were like, how much have you got left? And just as I asked how much you've got left, my dad said, just buy it, we'll just buy it all. And he was like, oh, I've got about 60 cans left. My dad was like, no, you can't buy 60 cans. So he ended up buying about 20 of them, and then he went back the next day on the bus to get them himself, took them home, and then I never got a single one. So I paid for half, and it's all gone. So the Peanut Riot is a myth as far as I'm concerned.
That's why you got the old pink card.
That's why I'm keep tagging it to bring it back, because in the hope I might actually get one, because I was hoping to keep a couple back for a properly special occasion, but he drank them all. So.
I was just going to say that Hamilton's Crunch
is about as close as you can get.
As close as we found. It was delicious. Just like drinking like crunchy peanut butter.
I went to their tap room there actually.
Did you?
Their bar in London.
It's a nice place.
Yeah, really good. Crunch, I think that's
it's a staple, is it?
Yeah.
Where is that? In London?
It's in
London. No, I'm going down to London in November, so.
It's within the M25.
And that ring road just to
helps. Thanks.
Just off my ankle, so that's why. I'm a tourist. Show me around when I go up there. I'm a tourist.
We'll continue to do most of the outside and ask what you guys got the pipe on, what you think about doing. I know you guys done obviously the American IPA. What else did you do?
Tell us about the single hop stuff, if you can.
Yeah.
If you just outed it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite. Yeah. To be confirmed. Yeah. No, so so from our point of view, how our kit is and how we built it to make the best quality package. For us, it's cast and keg is the way forward, but cast is what we're going to really push. So yeah, as you guys have tried, straight out of the FV, it's our single hop we brewed this week, which is based all around Simcoe. A really crisp like malt bill, used a bit of Vienna to give it that little sweet finish and also to bring the colour so not so straw-like, so really like a good flowy pale. And then the Simcoe to complement that on, it's all dry hop. So hardly any IBUs, hardly any beer hop, just to showcase the quality of that hop. And then this is what we're going to start doing is doing a couple of like single hop series, cask dominated. And the reason for that, when it comes through a cask line, it's normally slightly warmer than what it'll come through a keg line, which means it will exaggerate all the right aromas and how you want it. It's a true taste.
I'm hoping it'll drag me back into the cask stuff because I've been full kegs for a while now, so hoping that'll drag me back in. I'm looking forward to trying something that's a proper kind of crafty.
Definitely.
That is the worst idea you've ever had. For those that don't know, some idiots decide it'd be a good idea to ban someone a banister. Just leave it sitting. We're trying to stop you losing something else on a trip because you've already done it with your wallet, and that is the phone that everybody had on the last trip we were on that survived. So don't even start.
Has Grant not got your wallet?
Somebody's got my wallet.
Somebody's got
Chestnut. Because we're going to try our 2020 production schedule based around predominantly like cask beer, but modern cask beer. So we want to really champion it. And I think, like you said, like so many craft beer consumers and customers, like as in pubs and bars, have really focused around keg offering. The cask has sort of been a little bit left behind, and still a lot of the traditional brewers are only kind of brewing cask beer or keg. I think we're going to really try and up our game in terms of the different flavours we can get within the cask beer offering, and that's going to be a single hop series. We're also planning to brew a Galaxy single hop next week as well, which we're really excited about. It's going to be a 4.5% malt bill. Obviously Galaxy at the moment is really rare, so you can't buy it on the spot market.
Right.
We've managed to get our hands on some. We know some people in some
just leave it
I won't do any name dropping.
Use the contacts where they're available.
Yeah, and we're excited. We've never used it before, so it's really cool. Like we're doing that.
Good.
So yeah, I think that for us, we're a bit more experimental. We're going to be brewing a lot more like one-off beers this year.
Good.
Try and do at least 1 to 2 a month, and mainly around the cask, but then going into keg as well. And actually, we've gone into key keg now as well. So all our beers are going into key keg rather than steels, which is a bit of a new transition for us, and that's all down to the quality control in terms of going back to our beer being unfined and unfiltered.
It helps
because their system is it's a 2-chambered system.
Right. Okay.
Beer goes in the bag.
Yeah.
The gas is on the outside, so the gas never touches the product. It's just simply used as a push.
Right.
To get it out. Whereas in the steel kegs,
it's all in mixed. It's in one.
Because our beer is susceptible to being, over carbonated, and because it's unfindable, you're going to
affect it.
Mess the sediment up.
You want it to be as
clear as we can.
It comes out. It's served.
And the focus is the best quality on the board for when the customers have it. So if we can make that for our consumers, for the bars, and they can put it up and they know they're going to get the best quality every time, then that's what we strive for. And this is our solution to it, which is great.
Excellent. What's the best quality? For folk that are around in Bristol, even further afield, where is the best place to get hold of your stuff?
That's a good question.
From our point of view, if you do want to try it, then you just need to go into a local bar and ask for it. And we'll get it.
Right.
There's the sales bit.
There you go.
But yeah,
there's a wee job of
we've got a couple of really good partners who help us out and around the UK, so they'll go out to a couple of like beer festivals or beer bars. We'll send a few pallets up, got them around the UK. But yeah, it's quite rotational at the moment. So we kind of
because of what we're talking about, our production schedule based on like the cask and keg format, we've been, I don't know if you guys saw it downstairs, but our little counter pressure bottle filler that we've been using, historically been bottling our beers, like you had it from being in our guys, which is cool. But because you do it all in-house, it's very labour intensive. It takes the guys a day to brew, to bottle 15 cases or so.
So having had the experience of bottling 500ml stuff, it takes far longer than you think it would.
It is, it's a bit of a...
And you've got to be on your board.
A lot of wastage.
You risk an element of and quality as well, because you're moving it again through a different format. There is an element of risk. So we're taking the decision in the short term to stop doing any small packing. Until we're confident with either an outsourcing bottler or a canner potentially in the future. And that's so actually that time we would be spending bottling, we'd rather go and brew another beer, different beer, bang it cask and keg, get it out, and then go to the
also get to your local beer, local craft beer outlets and ask for Tapestry and get them to get in touch.
And the thing is, we said it from day one when we started trying your beer. Tapestry stuff is a really super good introduction just to craft beer in general, because it's not overwhelming with like the taste and steps.
You're not moving straight into something.
You can imagine somebody that's never had much craft beer trying something like this and being totally frightened.
You need to really hit the mark.
Your stuff is quite, not wishing to dull it down in any way, but it's more accessible, entry level. And it's super flavourful, but not scary for it.
If you've not got the palate for craft beer, hitting a New England super hazy number, you're a lager drinker, you're able to take that step.
And that's it. And for us being only 3 years old, and Dan and I have been in the industry for about 20 years between us, and we came in with the ethos of making craft beer more accessible. Take it away. That's like literally how we said it. We wanted to make the pale ale, which is now it's Propeller. It's our first beer. Dan alluded to 4.5% originally, and we're aiming towards the traditional side. We brought it down to 4.2, increase the hop content now, but we still produce it in cask and keg. And that was if we can convert lager drinkers like yourself, mate, into craft beer, we've done our job.
And you can push.
It's our core, and then let's have our core range, which is it says it on the tin. Like top line is our West Coast IPA, 6.5%. I think it's great in balance, and then we can start doing wild and wacky stuff. Now, once we've established ourselves, and we're literally at that point now when we can start doing like this, what they do is great, and that's the sort of stuff we will get to. But we're looking at with other breweries who were just coming in with this wacky wild stuff. It's brilliant, but as a sustainable business, as you grow forward, you need something in your base.
You would kind of need to scattergun it. You would need to scattergun it and hope one landed. Like it's difficult to have one that lands totally head on and gets a big market. Whereas if you move if you're only moving one step either side all the time, so if you get your lager drinker and move them one step in every direction, find out what they like, and then kind of go for there and kind of push right. Okay, so we're going to have a second step in this way with the single hop stuff, or go towards cask, which is something that's probably lacking, I would say, in terms of proper. It doesn't get as good press. Like I know when we go into the only bar in Edinburgh that really has a kind of this is what we've got in cask is the Hanging Bat. And even then you notice it's on the left hand side of the menu, and you go in and your eyes go right to the right hand side because it's keg. And it's a bad habit to have because it kind of takes you away. And the couple that we tried,
we went in just before Christmas, and we forced ourselves. No, not forced ourselves, but we made a point of trying the cask stuff. And they were both tremendous. Both cask beers that we tried were.
I've not been disappointed in anything.
And then we went later that night. We were in another pub in Edinburgh, Monty's, and I had a cask. It was a plum porter, and it was outrageous.
Titanic.
Titanic plum porter, and it was phenomenal.
It's the best selling.
And I'd never had it before, and it just shows what you can do with cask. And
definitely. And I think we started the brewery. We were like, how are we going to structure our beers? What we're going to offer? And you have this thing, right? Our demographic, that'll be who we're going to aim for. They're going to go and buy it. That's brilliant. But until you make that product, put it out on sale, you do not know. You can't. You have to be flexible and move and then tweak it and make different things. And we've come at it open-minded and realised that you have to change and adapt and move with where you want to play in terms of making great beer, but also beer that's going to sell to keep the roof over your head and create a business and jobs. So it's like there's a real balancing act, which is what we kind of constantly learn.
I think I can speak for everything you've done so far is awesome. It is a matter that you ethos is 100% like introduction to craft beer. I know for a fact, like, I don't like stouts. You guys don't like stouts. The Night Ride is now my favourite stout, and I know if you make another one, I'm 100% going to try it because you've made something already that I like. Especially not liking stouts, but I know now that you guys will tease me and another one.
Please.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you're going to make that step, like you're saying, with these kind of beers that are kind of way left field or right field, depending on what flavour it is you're looking for, you're going to bring the people that have started with you, taking that step out to go along the journey with you as you go. Like you're saying, if it's all about kind of stories, then you're going to take them with you as you push the envelope further and further in different directions.
100%, exactly that.
Super. Right, gentlemen, Tapestry Bristol is today, 8th of February. You're going to enjoy yourself when you get a lot of beer drunk today. We'll try our best to stay sober as possible.
No chance.
No chance. There's going to be prizes and giveaways.
And pizza.
And pizza, by the way, which
You can smell the pizza and it's tremendous.
Honestly, unbelievable.
Again, Dan, Calum, Tapestry guys, thank you for having us here.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
No, thank you guys. And we'll catch up with you later on in the day.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Goodbye. Ditto.